is our exhibition of learning. We'll be focusing on the two most important things we learned this year.
Those two things have to be how to write efficient and effective essays, coupled with the reading of excellent novels.
This presentation will be a little different. Not only will we review what we've learned, but we will also reteach it as to make you remember.
We are going to focus on what we learned, not just what we did.
The main things we learned to further our education and help us in college and beyond is to write analytical and substantial essays and also read important literary masterpieces.
And a few things that we learned over the course of this year was a plethora of large vocabulary words, or as we like to term them, italicized words. This slide signifies the newest chapter in our book of knowledge.
We learned to write in an entirely new way.
The new style of writing was not restricted to formulae.
Unlike previously taught by our old English teachers and created by James Schiff of Spawn State.
Analysis is the key in this new form of writing. One has to find ideas that were previously outside of the box and transport them to their paper.
Now you can't just have analytical ideas sitting on paper. That wouldn't get you anywhere. Development is necessary to fully explain and connect everything to everything else in the essay. Most importantly, your thesis. And remember,
MLA is G-O-D.
But more specifically, the kind of writing you learned was the typewriting.
Psychological mind remedies, such as thinking of the color green and being the ball, help a time-drive writer relax when under stress and pressure.
First step to success is to brainstorm. Is to take all those ideas floating in the gray matter of your cerebral cortex and put them on paper, in no particular order.
There's no time to waste, and writing with delicate trust. Stick to the thesis and hold it.
And all that analysis and development we were talking about, that's going to be housed in the body paragraphs.
The majority of thought is put into the body paragraphs, so don't worry about the conclusion. Just make sure that it will leave the reader with a good last impression.
Now to the analyzing section of our presentation.
This is an interactive, you could say, portion of our presentation, where we teach you by reteaching you.
This is the poem by Walt Whitman, number 52. We read and analyzed this in class together.
As you can look and read a little bit, at first glance, the poem seems to be of a man, preferably the narrator, just rambling on about nature.
But as we read and use our power of analysis, we can see multiple meanings.
Our interpretation of the poem is that the narrator is seeing the world through the perspective of a cloud.
Okay, there's many evidence for this, like the barbaric yacht. That could just seem like a yell, but when through the perspectives of a cloud, it is seen as the thunder and lightning shining over the rooftops of the world.
Another piece of evidence is because I shave my white locks. White is often a color associated with clouds, as they see in white in the blue sky. And clouds move along and shave their white locks.
And another piece is the last two lines. Missing me one place, search another. I stop somewhere waiting for you. That is very simple. When you look at a cloud, you're like, hey, check out that cloud. And they look and it's not there anymore, and that's because it's gone. And maybe one day you'll see it again, but you have to keep looking.
Modern English history has taught us to analyze and then sort of ways.
For example, we have concluded that the literature we have read this year is like
The City of Las Vegas. When you first get into a book, like when you arrive in Vegas, it's excruciatingly slow and painful, just like your loss of the first $200. But something about the book just makes you read on. You slowly start winning your money back, and as you begin to see the brilliance of the book, when you finally hit the jackpot, you see that the story you have read is a true literary masterpiece.
And also like Vegas, while reading it, you love every minute and enjoy every second. But the next morning, when you wake up the day before a quiz or a timed write, you realize you don't remember what the hell happened.
So, due to time restraints, we can only analyze one story, right?
And so we're going to do the best one we thought this year was Huckleberry.
I thought you said that we were going to do The Great Gatsby. We're going to do Huckleberry Princess. But The Great Gatsby's not just writing. No, we have. I know what The Great Gatsby.
Alright, let's just tell this old school.
Go.
Drop the beat. I'm going to tell you all my stories about my boy named Puff. Always ready to cut trouble, always ready to hate you. Such a trick to him down the Mississippi River. running from the White House to see African American struggle. His best friend Tom, that was introverted like he ain't got no mom, but he sure got a daddy, and the whole town knows he's as drunk, so the story goes. He killed a big fake of death and blamed his dad. That's what Hudson's dead, and the town is sad. He got the rap to gym and headed on his way. So freedom and adventure, just a boy in his flesh. Went from town to town on the way to be free. He's a much better character than Gatsby.
Let's talk about Gatsby. The man is the shit, and the truth to his story is shit. Fitzgerald wrote a novel with good Marshall making consideration. Gatsby lives in a mansion on the East Coast. Through some fast parties, he's a hell of a host. Next door neighbor by the name of Nick Arrowhead. Anything about him, he said just the thing he said. Well, I objected that on the East Egg, so he tried to get his name with Gatsby leg. By the girl of his dreams, Miss Casey, but that's stupid crazy. And Tom ain't a person who likes to mess around, unlike your boy Hush. This kid's just a clown. A clown? A clown, you say? Ha! No way. He's a much bigger boss than that big shed. And speaking of bosses, I gotta explain about the biggest of the 19th century Mark Twain, or a realist, or a romantic, and a national intrigue. His book caused waves of controversy. People didn't like it because it was too real. It frightened them, and it made them feel like there was no one to trust in this world of life. You cannot bang on him. Don't you even try. Controversy? That's what you come up with? Controversy. No, thank God. Big controversy. Controversy came in the 1920s when alcohol was illegal, but they still didn't know. His girl and his wife were a part of this race. So no one got caught. The police weren't even tripping. So the point of being controversy and a fact, better think of something better than that. Alright. It's pretty good. It was okay. Yeah, no, that was good. There you go. Right. He drank a lot, so did the rest of his notes. That doesn't make him cool. You know Al Capone. Mark Twain used the language diction of his time to open our eyes to the smut of society and the evils it makes. The feuds, the racists, and the people being placed in line. Step to me and tell me Gatsby is a fool. He's a liar, a fake, and above all, a fool. I literally praise Gatsby for sort of real life. People lie, people got caught with his right. People drinking, crying. Sometimes he doesn't kill it. Way more real than us were floating down the river. It's some kind of love story. It's all about made-up heroes finding fake glory. Modern myths were real entities, with writers' disillusion about American dreams. Their heroes were normal, showing grace when others, especially even Gatsby had problems, just trying to impress her. As you can see, this sounds much more normal. Not fake like Twain or all dressed up as normal. Our writing about the tragedy from day to day, not the romantic world made by your boy Mark Twain. This is not something bad on romantic. The big R, you believe it? Okay. This is legit. Don't you hate on it. They hit you with some knowledge, so go ahead and sit. The big R is about the soul and the mind, so I find my flow and where I get my rhyme. This romanticism, that's all you can find. Mark Twain was a realist. You're so bovine. You show the true world, the good and the bad, not crying over the loss of some American fad. Sounds to me like they had it pretty good. Who's a living, loving in their own hood? You can see. You're right. I think about it. Now that I think about it, they sound the same. Showing us the truth was the name of their game. They may have done it different, but a goal they shared. You know what? Gatsby was the greatest. I'm not sure. I don't care. Nah, did you open my eyes to Mark Twain? His writing was beautiful. Just as hell, that was easy to see. His use of modernism never induced ennui. But Twain got on society by using satire. The evil he depicted made it far from a lie. As Scott was the king of his time. He invented the jazz days like I invented this rhyme. Hey, on the same vision. And this rap concludes our learning in exhibition. And as you can see, time stops to run out. Gatsby just let's proceed or something like that.